Sparkles and Shivs, it's the Con Mom Show. Stephanie
and Sarah. Hi everyone, welcome back to Con Moms. It's me, Sarah, and
Stephanie.
And we are here today talking about what cons we think are going to be like now that they are coming back like a year and a half later. What? It's so crazy. I don't feel like it's real. Like, am I getting tricked? Am I getting lied to? Is it going to actually happen? But apparently is. So, our last episode, if you didn't tune in, was about abuse and boundaries at cons. I definitely recommend you go back and check that out and all the other great content, because we've been talking kind of leading up to this and this next year. So definitely go back and check that out. For me in cons, I still feel like I'm not ready, but I feel like it's kind of like it's a point where it's like getting into a car after you've had an accident. You just got to drive a little bit, even though I think a lot of us have anxiety, but the numbers are showing that I think it's relatively safe. So that's nice. Because I do appreciate the fact that even though there are businesses with money on the line, they did, most of them, there's some that are little wild cards, but are taking people's health seriously, and even though they were losing so much profit on that, and I really do appreciate that. I like being seen as an individual, not a dollar sign, so that's very nice, and thank you for taking us seriously. I'm excited. I am skeptically excited.
I am. There's the key. I think for me too, it's like you said, we appreciate the cons that see people as people, not dollar signs. There are cons that I probably will not be returning to because of the way that they've acted over the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
There are conversely cons that I am really looking forward to going to and trying out. Like there is a con that's going to be happening later on this year that I hope I go to. I may not, because one of the things that they are doing is limiting ticket sales to help for CDC health concerns, and that's a really good thing that they're doing. It is also the drive to that con. It's one that I absolutely hate the drive to, but after seeing everything they've done through the pandemic, it's like, okay, but I can get over the drive because I do have a good time at that con, and you guys actually seem like you're really good people, so I'm willing to do that. There's also, and that's a bigger con, but there is also a smaller con in my general area that their con space is already outside. Even in the pre-COVID times, it was predominantly outside with some indoor stuff, but most of the hangout spots were outside. So that's one that I think I'm going to be really comfortable starting because it's small. There's lots of opportunity for fresh air. And how they've been treating the pandemic and the health and safety of their guests and vendors and ticket goers has been really, really stellar. So that's like, okay, I can probably dip my toe in the water for that because it's local. I don't need a hotel. I can leave when I'm ready to leave. I can spend a lot of time outside, and I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna cosplay, let's be real, but coordinate cosplays with masks, because even though we'll all be fully vaccinated, like, it's like, well, I think it's okay. Like, if you are going to be more comfortable if you have a mask on, wear your mask. Yeah. It's okay.
I don't think it should be a big deal. Wear it if you feel comfortable. No. I don't think it needs to be like this hostile environment constantly with people. Like, especially when we get to a point where it is safe. Like, if people still want to wear it, like, I'll still be wearing mine for a long time. I also like the idea of avoiding con crud, which was a thing pre-COVID. Because if you haven't before, a lot of those places, like she said, some of them are outside and there's a lot of room, but you're pretty packed in like buildings. It's a little tight. It's close quarters. I mean, so like you're always in close contact with people, or if you go up and down escalators, there's like high touch areas and points. So to me, I'm like, I like the idea of still wearing a mask. I also got some really cool ones for Christmas They're like light up ones because I love anything that lights up. As you can tell, my chair, like if it lights up, I want it.
What, you lights up?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me you like
I know those
glitter.
kids, and I'm like,
Oh
I
my
will buy
gosh.
that crappy light up one from the vendor at the game. Like, give me the light up ones. Probably not
yeah.
good for the environment, but whatever. But yeah, so I like think I'll still be because I don't want con crud. No, thank you. And like even still before the pandemic happened, I would wear masks, especially on places like planes. And there's several countries that wore masks before the pandemic. Like it's just a cultural thing, so I don't think it should be an issue if some people want to keep that and adopt that as part of their culture here. So
Yeah, basically follow the don't be a jerk rule.
yeah,
Like, yes, yeah, the CDC has said if you're fully vaccinated, you no longer need a mask indoor or outdoor. And that's really reassuring. Obviously, some people still have reservations. We've been in survival mode for so long in terms of that it's, it's understandable that some people are cautious and nervous. Just don't be a jerk about it. Like if someone is fully vaccinated, they can waltz around without a mask, and that's a fine, totally okay decision.
Yeah.
Same thing if you are fully vaccinated and choose to wear a mask. And there's also people to remember too that can't get the vaccine because of various health issues, like actual health issues that prevent them from getting vaccinated. So those people will probably be wearing masks around, and that's fine. Let them do it. Or people who are just have an abundance of caution. Either they're just more comfortable with it, or they have like a close friend or family member that they live with who's compromised in some way or higher risk, and they just want to. Everybody has their own decision and own reasons. And as long as you are, doing the best you can, like if those people are fully vaccinated or if they want to be but can't, like just let people do their thing. As long as you're not an anti-vaxxer, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes. And we all have to remind ourselves that to treat each other with kindness no matter what, because we're all humans and we're all trying to survive on this planet. We want to make it a good ride. So yeah, for me, like,
don't presume someone's reason until you actually know.
Yeah, definitely don't. Assumptions are a terrible thing. They get you into a lot of dangerous water. And they don't really make life fun in the end, so just don't do it. Yeah, my main last reservation with, like, mask wearing was, because I've been vaccinated for several months now. But to me, like, I was worried about carrying it still to people. Especially since there are people in my life that cannot get vaccinated or have health issues and are higher risk. So, like, to me, that was, like, my main reason for wearing one for so long. And I still, like I said, I don't want con crud, so 100%. But yeah, I like the idea of, like, creating masks, like, in the fabric of your cosplays. Like, if I cosplayed, I would probably do that. Get some extra, have fun. I think it'll be cool, because, like, we've seen it as, like, a cool way of, like, self-expression, but I think when it gets to, like, a costume level, like, it's going to be even more intense, I think. So I think some people have a lot of fun with that.
There's a lot of fun that you can have with that. I mean, heck, we have really cute masks that our best man's mom made for our wedding party. Like, they have, like, little lace embellishments on them and all of this other, like, they're very, very cute. So yeah, like, you can have fun. You can have so much fun with a mask. And the other thing that just occurred to me, like, some children, I've seen, like, 14 now in some places. 14 and up can get vaccinated. But, like, a lot of cons full of small children can't get vaccinated. They're not old enough. Okay, and there's a reason to wear masks then.
And I know, like, because at that point, because a lot of the cons we're seeing are in the fall. They're coming up, the most recent ones, and I know, like, I'm not a parent, but I know a lot of parents in my life, and I know a lot of them feel left behind because their kids can't get vaccinated, and they're like, well, everybody's, like, not wearing masks now, but my kid isn't protected. So that's another reason I will keep wearing a mask, to be respectful of that situation, and those people, because I can't even imagine that. But yeah, the CDC, I think, just approved it for minors to a certain age, so that's nice.
Yeah, it is. I'm also curious to see like what things we've gotten used to are going to continue, like increased spaces, increase like between booths or seating areas or what have you. Like there's a lot of things after a year and a half of completely changing how we do a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm honestly so curious to see what sticks and what reverts back.
Yeah.
And, you know, just because it reverts back doesn't mean it's good or bad. Same with if it sticks. It's just there's different ways of doing things. I hope that this year has kind of helped teach us something about accessibility in general.
Definitely.
But also, you know, related to cons. And that there are improvements made there. That's what I'm really curious to see, is to go into these venues that I have visited frequently in the pre-COVID times and see, you know, in the latter half of 2021 and next year, what has changed and what changes actually stay.
I definitely think like the next 3 years, I think we'll see a lot of phases through the con community and how the organization changes. Not like the running organization itself, but like on the production side of it. I do think that there might be stuff that happens this year that won't happen next year as they slowly fade it out. But I wonder too, I'm like, well, we have plexiglass everywhere. There's no way you can like actually take everyone's temperature to con. That's just not feasible. Especially like San Diego Comic-Con where they just open the doors. It's like, boom, free for all. But
yeah.
Yeah, and I think at that point, that's like a very thin line. And you can't really enforce like who's vaccinated or not either. That's a very thin line that people should tread very carefully, but ethics-wise. But
and legality-wise, like that's just asking for a lawsuit.
But yeah, I was wondering too, because I'm not someone that has to have a wheelchair, but I noticed like at past cons too, like how tight things are, that it does seem like, I'm sure everybody's ADA compliant, but like it still feels tight to me if I was someone that had to be in a wheelchair. So I'm curious if spreading out that'll make it more accessible.
Compliance. Yeah, there's ADA compliance that is technically meets the requirements, and there's ADA really compliance that actually, is accessible. Because just because you've got these aisles that are wide enough, like when you're packed like sardines in the room, like I'm able-bodied and I can't move half the time in some of these bigger cons. Like,
right, shimmy.
How is somebody like, you know, or if you're, you know, somebody with like chronic illness that needs frequent places to sit down or things like that, like what is actually, so I don't know. I'm curious to see if we actually see change in that matter. I wish a global pandemic didn't have to exist for, you know, aisles to be wide enough for, you know, people in wheelchairs to actually use them feasibly at conventions. But
it's like the thing where they're now forced to, so they have to, and I'm like, yeah.
I'll take wins where we can get them.
Exactly. Definitely. I wonder too, like, if they're gonna maybe do like, because that's the other thing that's gonna be weird about these first con backs is a lot of they just keep. Some people wanted refunds, but they kept pushing our registration forward. So, like, it'll be weird to, like, go to cons and not have to pay for anything but a hotel for the people that pay out for them. Like, that would be so trippy.
Yeah.
And I wonder, too, like, if they sell new tickets, which are limited, depending on the amount of refunds they got back, I wonder, like, are they going to do staggered, like, registration when you get there? Like, because instead of, like, the long lines, and, like, do they get, like, reservation times now, where we get to come in, like, in mini micro groups that's socially distanced and like get our badges? Or
I'm really curious how they do that, and especially because you had I remember a larger con who shall not be named.
That's us in the show. They shall not be named.
They shall not be named. That huge, absolutely gigantic convention, not San Diego Comic-Con. I will throw this out, and anybody who's been there will know. They refused for years and years and years up until this point, and I don't know if this is going to change, to do to mail out badges ahead of time.
I love that.
To people who
they mail them.
Like, they refused to mail them out. Some of the big cons do that. San Diego Comic-Con and WonderCon being two of the big ones that did that previously, where if you pre-registered early enough, your badge would be mailed to you.
Yeah, or industry or anything, they ship it early.
Yeah. And that's a great way. Obviously, it's more of a cost for, conventions, and it's not feasible for all of them. But the big ones that are pulling in the millions,
shell out.
Just saying. Yeah. Like, especially when your batch pickup line is 4 hours long. Con who shall not be named.
Yes. I know, and I like getting like little like welcome packs from Comic-Con every time they ship the badges. I'm like, you're so cute. Like, yeah, it's fun. I'm also a packaging person that's like, oh, what does this come in? I like that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I hope we see more of that, let's just mail out your badges, because then it's less contact, less lines, less all of that. I
could see,
and that's,
sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's something that, like, has just sort of, how do we make the tickets contactless, has sort of just become just across all industries. Like, my industry that I work in right now, like, contactless, like, the key is contactless. How do we do this without, like, just using, like, the mail system and the email system? That's all we need.
110%. 100%. I wonder too, like, cosplay competitions, like, how are they going to do that? Especially the big shows, where they have, like, the back green rooms, where you're all, like, crammed in a room to wait to go on stage. I'm like, that'll be fun.
I've seen more and more people do, I've seen more and more virtual cosplay competitions. And honestly, like, there may be something to that, where you put in everything ahead of time virtually. That way, you can, obviously that kind of prevents a lot of last minute people, but that also means that a lot of that detail that people might miss initially, like, that could work in the favor of those really meticulous, detail oriented cosplayers who have kind of hidden things, or like, I'm thinking of a cosplay buddy of mine who she does a lot of really cool historical inspired garb.
Ooh,
and she'll make the
later.
petticoats, and I will. You may have shot her before.
It's possible.
And she does the full shebang from the undergarments up. That's something that you don't see just walking across the stage normally. And so there could be a lot of benefits to having more of a virtual competition or a hybrid, where you do a lot of that initial stuff that, again, pulls back on contact, limits the time that people are all waiting backstage, like all of that things that could make a smoother experience for participants, and a little bit more hygienic and safer.
Yeah. And then another thought I had too, because I'm thinking about all the production things I keep thinking about, but like food courts, food things. I know some places like San Diego have it, like there's actually food places in the convention center, like inside the hall, like main floor, and they also have stuff outside. So I'm kind of like, are they gonna have food places in these cons? I know like Sac Anime, local con does, one of them, has like food trucks outside, which is kind of nice. I prefer the food truck method. Acon had that for a long time, and
cheaper and better food all the time. The food trucks,
love
always
food trucks. It's my obsession. Yeah. I will go places when I travel. I'm like,
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, WonderCon, they do that beautiful lineup of food trucks. Just, it's glorious.
Yeah.
The lines are all long, but the food is all really good.
It's worth it, and you're generally outside getting some fresh air. So, unless you're, actually, I think that, unless you're in a hot state, because it's not fun when you're in Texas and you're like pouring sweat because it's humid as heck, and you're in like a big old ball gown. But,
yeah. Where I would imagine like what's the big Georgia con? I can't believe I'm blanking. It's
Dragon Con?
Giant convention. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I revoked my nerd card, clearly.
That's it.
Yeah, I would imagine that one gets real humid. Yep, that's it. Boot me
con
now.
moms. I don't know the names of the con. I'm just kidding.
Cons.
We do. It's just sometimes your brain's like,
name all of them.
Oh gosh, it's like trivia thing. But I thought we're not allowed to name names. I'm just kidding. I can go down a list if you want, but I don't think I should. Yes,
We only don't name the naughty ones.
the naughty ones, exactly.
Yeah, when we're talking about a con doing something naughty, we don't name it.
Mm-mm. I don't want to get sued, but you'll know who you are. So,
Right? Yeah, you know.
yeah, I was like, cosplay, thought it'd be fun. I think some people might do like wristbands maybe instead of badges, but I like badges. I have like a whole stash of badges, and I'm trying to decide how to, this is like a little tangent, to deciding how to display them. I'm like, I kind of want to get them all and organize them by year, like some fun thing, make a wall of badges, but we'll see. I don't want wristbands, but I know some people were talking about wristbands. Like, you can just like RFID it and keep going.
Scan.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, give me my badges. Yeah, those are like
Give
the
me the
main things I
badges.
can think about that I'm curious. And limiting caps, especially if, so yeah, going back like the first round back, I'm like, if they're limiting caps at cons, so you're basically just having all the people that didn't refund that are coming back because you can't really sell any more tickets. Like, I know, like, I keep using San Diego as an example. It's like the first thing comes to my brain, or even like New York City.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, but
Well,
like,
a lot of cons will be watching San Diego.
yeah, because they're, I think, one of the first people that are coming back. They have a little like micro con in November.
Yeah, over Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I'll probably wait till summer again. I don't know if I want to head out for that one, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how this goes. What do you guys think is going to change? Like, definitely let us know, because I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are, because you guys are probably going to think of things that we're not even thinking about now, and I'm sure once we get off of this, we'll be like, oh yeah. So,
We'll have like a list.
yeah, let's check back in next time. Also, we thought of this, and this. Yes, if you guys ever have anything you want us to talk about, or any questions, feel free to reach out to us or on the Project Nerd socials. We do see those. But yeah, we hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you, as always, for listening. We are Con Moms.